Have you ever heard of CHAGA mushroom or CHAGA mushroom powder? This stuff is amazing. You can see it in stores. It's sold in packets. You can dissolve it in water and make things like coffee or tea with it. So if you are interested in CHAGA mushrooms, this is the expert on all things mushrooms. I met Grant here at a farmer's market. He was selling shiitake mushrooms at the time. He had this awesome display set up. He was teaching everyone all about mushrooms. So I figured, why not interview him, pick his brain, learn all about mushrooms. So that's what we're here doing today. So thank you, Grant, for meeting with us today.
Thank you. Yeah.
So this is CHAGA.
This is CHAGA. It's a mushroom that grows on birch trees. It wants to grow on living birch trees. It's a very slow growing mushroom. This one here, it's a large example, but we figured this one here is about 50 years old to get that big. This is more 50 years old. Yeah, this is more typical. This size here. This one here probably took about 8 to 10 years to get that big, and this one maybe took about 12 to 14 years to get that big. We would harvest that. Preferably, you'd harvest that in like late winter, early spring. And we would chop it up into chunks like this and put it into a stock pot and brew it. And you brew it overnight and you get this very rich coffee colored tea from it. And it's actually even got a bit of a coffee flavor to it, like a coffee, caramel, vanilla flavor. Very, very mild though, and there's no caffeine.
Yeah, they sell this. Who's the company? Four Sigmatic, I think.
Yeah,
they have it. They mix CHAGA with coffee. I've tried it before. It's delicious, but this actually tastes really good on its own. Yeah,
Four Sigmatic. They like to blend their extracts with other things, so you never really get a sense of what the true flavor of the CHAGA mushroom is all on its own, and it does have its own flavor. It's a very beautiful, delicate flavor.
So if someone wanted to grow this themselves, like if you have a birch tree in your backyard, could you just grow CHAGA?
Most people don't know it, but yeah, actually you can grow it. The big concern why people think, well, you can't farm it is, well, first because you need a living birch tree, and if you inoculate a fungus onto a living birch tree, it's going to kill that tree eventually, and people don't like that. Oh, right. So it likes to grow on living birch trees. And this isn't a birch tree, but we'll pretend for a moment that it is. And you're out in the forest and you can see when it's a mature tree, it'd be about this big. You might see this conch growing out the side of it like this. And so then you would harvest it, you just yank it off, it'll come off, or you can use a hatchet. And it'll leave like a rim. And if you leave a rim, then you're okay, it'll grow back. But with this freshly harvested CHAGA conch, if you take a knife, and it's not too hard if it's fresh, you can make shavings. So you get little wafers, bring it home, or maybe even while you're still out in the forest. I use a chainsaw, and you kind of go on an angle like this. If you go straight in, it's a little bit harder, but kind of go on an angle, not like that. And maybe go in maybe about that far and take these wafers and slide it inside, and then get like wax, like a candle, beeswax or cheese wax, but a good firm wax, and seal it.
How many can they do? Like how many could you do on
So on a tree, the mushroom will extend about 3 to 4 feet.
The mushroom?
It'll on the inside of the tree. It'll extend. So if you go one down below, and then say 5 feet away, you can do a second one.
So even though this is like right here, it's going to be inside. This
will be all on the inside of the tree. It'll spread on the inside of the tree. So you could do one here, and then give it maybe 6 feet is better. And then if you had a ladder, you could do like a third one. So if you have, say, 3 spots, then you're going to get about 100 grams of growth per infection site. That gives you, if you fully extract it, one tree with 3 infection sites will give you about 6 months worth of chaga if you're drinking a cup of chaga every day. So if you have 2 trees on your property and you put 3 sites, and if they all took, 2 trees would give you enough chaga to drink all year. And then this way, if we can get more information about how we can propagate it using that low-tech method, then, and if we get people producing their own extract, and really it is the best extract you're going to get in the world, and you could make it yourself, it really makes conserving this mushroom a lot more possible, because it becomes very locally managed, as opposed to having large companies coming in and sort of mismanaging it.
Right.
It's harder for a large company to do proper sustainable management of a resource like this. So what we found was that it'll grow to a certain maximum size, and then when it reaches that certain maximum size, it will kill the tree. If you harvest it when it's maybe only about 70% at that maximum size, and you aggressively harvest especially the outer rim of the fungus, then the tree will compartmentalize the mushroom on the inside of the tree, and the tree will continue to grow. The fungus will perish, but the tree will keep growing. So you could farm it. Not killing a tree, and then you have like a hollow little tree that animals can live in.
Oh,
you
cool.
know.
That's nice. Take care of the animals, right?
Yeah. That was kind of an important little insight though too, because what it also told us was that the way we have been harvesting it in the forest.
And you grow this?
We started farming it,
right.
Yeah. But most of it, the bulk of it, 99.99% of the chaga out there is just wild harvested. Oh. And what happens is someone will come and they'll harvest it, and they'll try to be ethical. They'll take just maybe 2/3 and they'll leave some. But you don't know, the next person that comes in behind that is going to take their 2/3 and leave some. And before you know it, there's not enough left for the mushroom to continue growing. And it needs to have that, especially that outer rim of the mushroom when it's growing on the tree. And if you remove that, then it can't continue growing, and that's how the tree survives and the mushroom dies. And that's what's been happening in the forest. And if the mushroom dies, it doesn't produce spores, because it only produces spores once at the end of its life when the tree dies.
Oh.
So if the tree lives, the mushroom never produces spores. So a lot of places in the forest, it's not coming back because it's been over harvested. So it was important to find a way to farm this to take that pressure off of chaga, and that's what we did. Is we got a way to harvest it.
I love that you're caring for the trees while you're harvesting. I mean, right, commercial farming, like a lot of it is they're destroying the land, they're destroying,
Yeah.
So I love that you are preserving what's there, but also getting awesome mushroom out of it.
Yeah. So another area of our research was we were trying to figure out how to make a really powerful mushroom extract from this mushroom.
Right.
If you use the mushroom when it's fresh, don't let it dry out, and then just use water when you're extracting it. Just extract it completely. So at home, that would be the equivalent of if you had found this mushroom and you chopped it up small like this and you put it into a stock pot and then brewed it overnight, and then saved that water and then put fresh water into the pot and brewed it again, and then put fresh water into the pot and brewed it again and again and again. If you did that 20 or 40 times, is what we were using an extractor that did something like that, you ended up with an extract that was about 30% more potent in antioxidants than any other chaga product that you're going to get on the market. Like, it was really, really a lot more potent. But you can still do a similar thing at home. Even if you just do 3 changes of water, you get pretty close to doing that similar thing on your own. But it's use the fresh mushrooms, chop it up like this, steep it overnight, and then change the water, steep it again, change the water, steep it again, and then you combine it all, and then I guess you could boil it down if it's too much, and then leave that in your fridge. And then you get the medicinal benefits from the mushroom.
Yeah, I first heard about chaga. I had bought it in a cookbook. I had read they were talking about making a tea and then a hot chocolate with
Okay,
this.
yeah.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
So I had bought a bag of this, and I kept it in my freezer for a while. And I did that. I steeped it once, then I put it back in, and then I steeped it again, and it got less and less flavor each time. But
Yeah.
it was a neat way to do it. So you can either use the chunks like that, or you can use powder, right?
Yeah. I prefer using the chunks. Just
The technical term, the chunks.
the chunks, yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason is because I find that from a flavor perspective, it actually makes a nicer flavored tea. You just have to make sure that you steep this type here when it's in chunks. You have to steep it overnight. The other one, a couple of hours was enough. But
So it's a couple of hours even with the powder.
even with the powder, you would need to go a couple of hours, yeah, to get it all to dissolve. I got water here.
Here, going.
Yeah.
Yummy.
This is like RO water. Probably figure out some kind of
Add 1 scoop, 1/8 of a teaspoon.
that's all it is. It's tiny. It's super
So cut
concentrated.
the hot or cold, so it dissolves in hot or cold water.
Yeah. So this is cold water. It doesn't dissolve as good.
Yeah.
Like between you and me, not there. Or you could put it on there too. I don't care. But like when we were first doing this, we weren't originally making this extract using fresh chaga, but we had this inclination there, this feeling that if we made it from fresh chaga, that we would be able to get the triterpenes, the betulinic acid, in there using water. Once the mushroom dries out, though, the colloidal suspensions that are making it water soluble and making it bioavailable, they collapse, and then you could try to sort of bring it back by using alcohol, but then you're getting drunk to get your medicine, you know.
Yeah, not what most people want to do.
No, and a couple little
That's the fact.
no, yeah, and a couple of little drops. Like you'll see the little double extracts that they sell, where it's a couple little drops on your tongue, and it's not the volume, it's not the amount of the terpenes that you need to get a medicinal benefit.
All right. So powder. 1/8 of a teaspoon to a cup of hot or cold water, and stir. Very simple. So it looks like coffee.
Yep, but there's almost hardly no flavor at all. But the little bit of flavor that you do get does actually taste a little bit like coffee. It actually has caffeic acid in there, which comes from coffee, but there's also vanillin in there, so it's got a bit of a vanilla flavor, and the sugars have their own little kind of caramelized, sort of a little bit of a caramel flavor. It's a beautiful, very delicate flavor, very mild, but it does.
Can we try?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's nice. It's almost like a hint of flavored water. Like
Like flavored water. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not.
There's no sweet to it, but you think
Right.
it's kind of like there's a sweet to it. Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be really strong because it's so dark. Like think about
Yeah.
like a dark beer, right? Like that's
Yeah.
always heavier than a light
Yeah.
beer. So
Yeah. Nope.
not the case.
Nope. Just a little bit of a vanilla
cool.
coffee. Yeah.
So that was instant. So
Yeah.
when you said that you need to brew powder for a few hours,
Yeah.
how is that different from what we're doing right here?
Well, this is a concentrated extract. So if you're going to buy chaga powder or chaga tea in the store, that's just chunked up chaga that's been ground up. But what this extract is it's the chaga has been brewed, and then the tea, that liquid, has been dehydrated.
So it's kind of like instant coffee?
Instant coffee, yeah. It's like instant coffee, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yummy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are saying that chaga has amazing health benefits, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about what some of those are.
Okay. I get that asked a lot.
I'm
Like
sure.
people ask me that a lot, and there's a lot of research out there, and it seems to come from all over the place, and people's brains start to get a little bit mixed up. So I tried to digest it down to like really simplify it. Really what it boils down to is the fact that this mushroom has really, really powerful antioxidants. Antioxidants, they're not all created equal. It's like blueberries are an antioxidant, and if you drink blueberries or eat blueberries, it'll clear out the free radicals in your system but only to a certain point, because it's a chemical reaction and eventually it hits an equilibrium. So with blueberries, when we tested it in a lab, it showed that it reduced the reactivity of the free radicals that we were using by about 35%, and then it hit an equilibrium, and it did not matter how much more blueberries you ate, it was not going to reduce the reactivity anymore. Okay. But 35% is still amazing, because it's 35% less damage happening to your body from these free radicals. When we tested Chaga tea, even if you did a bad job making Chaga tea, it came in at like a whopping 65%. Wow. That's
amazing. Apple blueberries, blueberries are pretty popular in so that's very cool.
Yeah. Now, if you fully extract it, and it's a lot of work to fully extract it, then it can actually reduce the reactivity. In our labs, it showed an 85% reduction in reactivity.
So I'll just keep drinking this tea.
Yeah. The fallout of that's where a lot of its medicinal benefits seem to come from. And so you got to figure, if you're well, the first thing people notice is that it's a boost in their energy. People drink the Chaga tea, and they after a couple of days they feel an increase in their energy. And it's not like a caffeine buzz where, it's stressing out your adrenal glands. It's just you wake up and you feel refreshed, and that's because it's all the energy that your body would have otherwise spent trying to repair free radical damage. It doesn't have to do that anymore.
Right, makes sense. Yeah.
But now there's other health benefits that also stem from that same fact that these free radicals are gone from your system. Like, for example, your sugar levels are going to come down, because your cholesterol, and your cholesterol levels will come down because your energy levels are up. Your body can tell if it has enough energy, so it's going to say, well, we don't need so much sugar in our blood. You lower your blood sugar, there's a correlation between high blood sugar and high cholesterol, and also high blood pressure, so it helps that stuff. But also your immune system is affected by, are you feeling tired and run down, or do you have the energy to properly run your immune system? So it boosts and modulates your immune system. Then there's also the long-term benefit of preventing excessive DNA damage to your body, because the free radicals will cause DNA damage, and over time that's what makes you age. So if you're drinking these antioxidants, getting these antioxidants into your system, it slows down, and could even to a certain extent reverse some aging related ailments.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a lot of very good benefits from strange looking monstrosity right here. You wouldn't think, if I just saw this, I'm like, let's just take a bite.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome. That's really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Grant. That is awesome information that you've shared with me and everyone watching today. If anyone wants to learn more about you, learn more about what you're doing, how can they get in touch with you?
You can go to my website, greenfoot.ca.
And I'll throw a link down below the video to all this.
Yeah, or you can call me, or you can email me, and that information is on the website. I'm kind of not on top of posting my information on there, but I'm changing that, hence, you. But eventually we'll have more information, up-to-date information about how we can farm it, and also how you can build your own at-home extractor, so that you could make your own extract. It would be exactly like this, and this is, from what we were able to tell, this is like by more than one person's account, it really is one of the best, if not the best, chaga extract out there.
Awesome.
And you can make it at home.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
But until then, we can buy yours.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So thank you so much, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
This one's a cute one.
A cute chaga.
It's cute.
It's almost like burnt on the one side.
Burnt. All that burnt is melanin, same stuff that our skin makes when we suntan.